Looking for tradespeople you can rely on? Fusion Services are a team of close friends with a family feel, dedicated to keeping your home running smoothly. From electrical work to plumbing and heating, they deliver top-quality solutions with honesty, integrity and a friendly touch. They treat every project and every customer as a part of their extended family. So whether it's fixing a fault, upgrading your heating or tackling a plumbing emergency, trust Fusion Services to get the job done right. Mention the Sheppertonian for a 15% discount on any work for the month of February. Call them today on 020 8050 0548 or visit we-r-fusion.co.uk to book your service. This time on the Sheppertonian.
Every single time she hears the introduction to Dancing Queen, this lady who normally sits very quietly, looks very confused, she stands, she takes my arm and she dances with me and she twirls around and it's like she's, 15 again. She's somewhere in her mind. She is somewhere else, and wherever that place is, it's happy.
A lot of new parents nowadays, they're used to having a life where they go to work, they come home, they don't necessarily know people where they live. So coming along to something like this, you meet the mum who lives around the corner. And a lot of our Bumps and Babes mums carry on meeting. They meet outside of the group. They carry on their friendships after they've left the group.
Welcome to the Sheppertonian, the podcast that celebrates the people, stories and community spirit of Shepperton in Surrey in the UK. In this episode, we're bringing you two inspiring conversations with local changemakers. First, I sit down with Kelly Stewart, founder of the Stewart Academy and leader of the Spelthorne Dementia Choir. Kelly shares how music is creating moments of joy, connection and nostalgia for those living with dementia and their carers. Then I meet Mary Soane, who's been supporting new and expectant parents in Shepperton and Sunbury for over 20 years. Through Bumps and Babes and the Breastfeeding Café, Mary and her team are providing invaluable support to local families. Plus, we've got our What's On guide to keep you up to date with upcoming events. And in this episode, we have a massive bumper Sheppertonian shout-out section to highlight the amazing people making a difference in our community. So, grab a cuppa, get comfortable, and let's dive in. Today we're doing something a little bit special. I'm here at the Greeno Centre with Kelly Stewart, founder of the Stewart Academy and leader of the Spelthorne Dementia Choir. Kelly, welcome to the Sheppertonian.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Before we dive into the amazing work that you're doing with the Dementia Choir, let's talk a little bit about you. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and how the Stewart Academy came to life?
Yeah, of course. So I always wanted to be a singer and an actress from as early as I can remember. And I wasn't allowed to officially go to drama school until I'd done my A-levels. But I still did extracurricular singing, dancing and acting my whole childhood. And then I went to Mount View in London on a full scholarship. Was lucky enough to be signed with an agent after graduating and had about 8 years in the performing arts on the West End, touring, a little bit of television and film. And then I left. Left this bonkers, crazy world. I wanted security and it was just a little bit too bizarre for me. I didn't cope very well with the rejection, which is a big part of the business. I took it all too personally, I think.
I was going to say, a lot of the time it's not personal. It's about
never
whether
personal.
You fit in that particular thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you look right? Yeah. Do you sound right? Yeah. Are you tall enough, short enough? Yeah, it's nothing really to do with that. It's a given that you have the talent. It's everything else, which I now know as a grown, wise woman. But yeah, then it hurt a little bit. And then I sort of flitted about doing my own job. So I was a personal trainer for 10 years. And then I had my children and I got into photography and I started my own photography business. And within a year, I was booked for, every wedding. I think I've done most people's weddings in Shepperton. And certainly family portraits. And I loved it, absolutely loved it.
Is that something you still enjoy?
No, I stopped it when the Academy started 2 years ago.
Time.
Yeah, it's just too much. I had to kind of have one hat. so busy having lots of hats, had to have one hat.
I meant for your own...
For fun?
Yeah.
Not with my cameras, sadly.
Oh.
I know. I will one day.
Maybe one day, yeah.
Yeah. But maybe. But that might be because the Academy's failed or something. I'll be back to it. But no, I did love it. And it was great to be creative. And I think it just reminded me how much I love to be creative. And then by accident, I was at my son's primary school in Saxon in Shepperton. And they knew that I was musical. And their music teacher needed some help with something. I ended up doing this ad hoc conducting of their Christmas event in the playground, surrounded by God knows how many adults, and everyone was kind of wondering who I was. And then I thought that was fun, I could do this. And the headmistress called me over and she said, could you? Our music teacher's leaving. So I became the music teacher at Saxon Primary School.
Okay.
And COVID hit 3 weeks later. So I carried on doing all my lessons online and taught in the school as well, which I loved.
So going back to that first day,
Yeah.
Has your conducting style evolved? Has it always been that enthusiastic?
I am still the same. I cannot stand still. I try. The second the music starts, my body takes over and I end up like a gymnast around the stage. Yeah, it's a problem, but I can't stop it. I just can't. Yeah. I think if I stood still, people would think I was ill or something. But
and
it
was like
works
that for the larger choir, doesn't
yes.
it?
And when you're conducting young children, they need to see that and grown-ups, they need to see that you're enthusiastic and that you're passionate, and then we feed off each other that way. So that's what I love. But it's not an act. It is it's something I can't control. Then I just thought I missed being my own boss. I missed that. I'm not very good at being in an organisation. I feel like my wings are a little bit clipped. I absolutely love that school. My children were educated at that school and I still do anything for that school whenever they want. But I just needed my own thing again and my own freedom. And I'd always wanted to start my own school and I just thought, if not now, then when? And I put out a little advert on Facebook and not even 2 years later, I have 290 members, just under 290 members.
Wow. So that's now keeping you busy because you do everything yourself.
It's full time.
Yeah.
It's completely full time. So I've got a large adult choir of nearly 100. I've got a choir that I do at BP head office, which is their wellbeing choir, which is wonderful. It just helps all their mental health. It's absolutely amazing. The dementia choir, children's choir, and then I have private students as well. And then I'm writing all the parts every week. So yes, it's definitely full time. Yeah.
Have you had any performances that might have stood out?
Oh, we've had so many in the short time that we've been a thing.
I saw you at Big Tree Night. Actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
did you enjoy it?
A real variety of ages.
Yes.
All really enthusiastic.
Yeah, our
it was
youngest
lovely.
is 6 and our oldest is 90.
Yeah.
So, that's
Amazing.
what matters to me. I want people to realise that singing it's just fun and it's universal and you don't need any experience and you really don't even need to sing and some can't very well and I just don't mind.
Yeah.
I just want to bring people together and spread that joy. But Big Tree Night's a special one because it's our local community thing. Shepperton Fair, and we'll be there again this year.
Lovely.
We do our big shows at the Hammond Theatre. We've got another one in May. Oh, there's just so many. Spelthorne Business Awards. We've been there twice now. We've won runner-up and then last year won Best Business Startup in Spelthorne. We performed as well. We've just been asked to perform at the Mayor's Ball. And we're everywhere. It's great.
Which brings us really nicely to the Dementia Choir here, the Spelthorne Dementia Choir. You've said that for 1 hour a week, members can forget their worries and just sing, which speaks to what you were saying there.
Well, that's true for all the choirs, to be fair. And the amount of feedback I get from people. I understand choir is important, but I also think, it's just a hobby or it's just something to do. But it is way more than that for so many members.
Yeah.
But yes, particularly for this hour once a week for the dementia sufferers and their carers.
Yeah. Why do you think that time is so special then?
Well, when you sing, you forget about anything else because you have to concentrate on the lyrics in front of you and the music that's playing. Your mind naturally switches off from all of the distractions that the real world throws at us. So for that 1 hour, you can only focus on that. The music I choose is supposed to give you a different emotion to the one that you may be feeling as you're walking through that door. And certainly with Dementia Choir, for the dementia sufferers, that's one thing, and we'll get to that. But for the carers, it's vital that they can switch off, that they can have an altered mindset for that 1 hour, that they don't need to think about the horrible pressures in their life. They really struggle. And then for the dementia sufferers, it just lifts their spirits and takes them back to these magical places.
I was going to ask, actually, because music has this remarkable way of unlocking memories.
Yeah.
Have you witnessed any particularly moving moments during rehearsals, performances?
Yes, many, and so many. And I have to stop myself crying most weeks. There's a lovely lady who suffers really badly from dementia. And when we do ABBA, we were doing Dancing Queen for one of our concerts, and every single time she hears the introduction to Dancing Queen, this lady who normally sits very quietly, looks very confused, she stands, she takes my arm and she dances with me, and she twirls around, and it's like she's, I don't know, 15 again. She's somewhere in her mind, she is somewhere else, and wherever that place is, it's happy. That sort of thing happens on different scales to different people every week.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And you mentioned the importance to the carers as well. What kind of feedback have you had from families of
so much?
choir members?
It is scarily the pressure on me. They say they live for it, that it's their focus, that they know that no matter how many down days or down moments they have in that week, they've got Friday to look forward to. It's there. And you know, like this week, I do have laryngitis. I can't sing, but I can't not be here. Yeah. I can't, because I know how important it is to them. And I know they wouldn't mind if I said I couldn't come. They're so lovely and forgiving and lovely, but I have to because it matters. It matters. Every week someone tells me that it's their focus, or it's something to look forward to, or they know it will change their mindset, or it just gives them that release for 1 hour, or it's just fun. We giggle a lot as well, so it's important. It's not taken so seriously.
If you don't mind, I'll come and
please do
watch some of the rehearsal. What does the rehearsal involve? How does that go?
They all sit down and they have their regular spaces. They like to sit in the same spaces, and we do a vocal warm up, and we pull funny faces and do bits and pieces with our voices and breath. And I always get them to move their upper bodies as well. It's a lot of tension, especially for the carers, and they're often lifting people all the time. And so it's important that we just move around a little bit while sitting down. Then we work through our songs. So we're working towards a very exciting concert that we have at the Chelsea Pensioners in May. We've been invited to come and sing there.
That's amazing.
So we're taking everybody on the coach, and the amazing Purple Angels they're organising it all. And so we're working on 4 or 5 songs at the moment. A couple of them have solos, and we just work through them.
Oh, that's wonderful. So what role do you think choirs like yours, not just the Dementia Choir, but all of your choirs, play in strengthening the local community?
Oh my goodness. I hope, if not now, one day it will be a fundamental part of the community. I haven't yet come across somebody who hasn't been a part of one of our events or one of our sessions or watched one of our performances who hasn't felt in some way changed for the better. Yeah. I want people to understand that if you've never sung before and you've never sung with someone else, you're missing out. And I know that music's my thing, and it's the most passionate thing about me other than my children and family. I really believe in it. It changes your whole mindset. The endorphins that are released are out of this world. I imagine it's like people who love running. I do not have any endorphins when I go for a run in any way. So music is my version of that. Yeah. But when you see 6-year-olds all the way up to 90 singing together, and we recently did one where everyone sang together. So we had our 6 and 7-year-olds alongside the Dementia Choir, alongside the adult choir, alongside the Wellbeing Choir. It is the most emotionally beautiful thing I can possibly ever imagine feeling. And I want everyone in the community to feel that, even on a small scale.
Yeah. Talking there about your dream of bringing all the choirs together.
Yeah.
If that would happen tomorrow, if you could make that happen tomorrow, what would that look like?
Well, we did it.
Oh, you did it?
Yeah, we did it.
Oh, my
I did
word.
it last summer.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, so we did it. We hired the Cecil Hepworth Playhouse, and we brought them all in, and we sang Mountain by Sam Ryder. It was beautiful. Yeah, lots and lots of tears.
Tick.
Yeah. But it'll happen again and again and again.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's
It's important.
wonderful. You're talking about the fact that anyone can sing, anyone can do it. I imagine for a lot of people, maybe going to Big Tree Night and seeing you sing, they might naturally assume that, I can't sing, so therefore I wouldn't reach out and join.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening to this who'd like to join the Dementia Choir or would like to encourage a family member to join, how can they do that?
Okay, so nearly everyone that's in one of my choirs at the moment has said the words, but I can't sing. Okay,
Yeah.
and just come along and you'll realise you actually can. You don't have to be a musician, you don't have to be a professional. This is a non-audition safe space. And honestly, I want everybody, if you've even had an inkling that you might want to try it, just try it. You just go onto the website, which is being updated. It's always last on my list to do my website. There's too much else going on. But they can email me anytime, kelly@thestuartacademy.co.uk. The Dementia Choir is completely free. The other choirs have a small charge. This one is completely free. It's all run by the Purple Angels, the SDS, Spelthorne Dementia Support Group. And the Greeno have us there, and it is free for all carers and all dementia sufferers. And it is vital that people understand that. There is no charge at all. Just come along, try it out.
That's the important thing. Is so on a Friday between 2 and 3, people can just arrive, join in, see if they like it.
Yeah, and please do, and spread the word, because they'll not just enjoy the singing part of it and the performance part of it, but they will in turn, they'll meet a new family. There is such a strong community behind these walls and they can be part of that. And especially for carers to communicate with fellow carers and understand what each other naturally are going through, it really, really helps them. It really does.
Yeah, supporting the people who support.
Yes,
as well.
It's huge. Yeah, it's important.
Kelly Stewart. Oh, hello, it's a little doggy. Kelly Stewart of the Stewart Academy and the Spelthorne Dementia Choir. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to the rehearsal.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Looking to relax, refresh and rejuvenate? Orchard Meadow Therapies and Aesthetics is a well-established practice in Lower Sunbury that offers expert treatments using high-quality, ethically sourced skincare products, approved by top pharmaceutical labs. Plus, if you're interested to start a new career in beauty and wellness training, Orchard Meadow provides one-to-one mentoring, business coaching and accredited body and face training courses. Book your appointment or training today. Call 07565 678 319 or email orchardmeadowtherapies@aol.com. Rediscover your best self at Orchard Meadow Therapies. Today I've come to Shepperton Village Hall to see Mary Soane, who's been supporting new and expectant parents in Shepperton and Sunbury for over 20 years. She runs 2 wonderful community groups, Bumps and Babes and the Breastfeeding Café. Mary, welcome to the Sheppertonian.
Thank you.
Let's start with a little background. How did you first get involved in parent support, and what inspired you to start running these groups?
My oldest is 26, and when he was born, I didn't have much local support. I'm from Ireland, so my family weren't around. Diane, who runs it with me, Diane White, she's Australian, so also didn't have her family around. So when I had my oldest, I kind of got involved in groups, and then when I had my second, I came to Sponge Fingers, the toddler group that we had in the village hall, NCT group in the village hall, and there was lots of toddlers running around, and there we were with our tiny babies, and that realisation that for a new mum this is extremely daunting. So myself and Angela, the other woman, thought, well, let's set up a little baby group, and that was 2001, so it was 24 years ago. We set up Bumps and Babes. We started in Shepperton, then it moved to Sunbury, then it moved to somewhere else in Sunbury, and then after lockdown we came back to the village hall because Sponge Fingers, the toddler group, wasn't being run anymore. So now we run it in both Sunbury and Shepperton.
Over 20 years, and actually started from a need that you saw in the community as well. So it's amazing it's been going that long.
That need is still there, and it's even more so now because there aren't as many drop-in toddler groups, church hall toddler groups where you can go with, just drop in as and when you want to.
Yeah. So you are supported financially. How does that work?
Currently the Bumps and Babes has got some national lottery funding, but last year we got some funding from Shepperton Studios for a year, so that covers our costs for a year. The Breastfeeding Café is funded through the local council, so we run 3 drop-ins here in Shepperton, Sunbury and Ashford, and we just got funding from the lottery for the Ashford one. So we have to apply for funding every year, every 2 years, for all of the different services that we run.
Which can be quite tiring.
Absolutely.
Constantly.
We sometimes think we spend as much time applying for funding as doing the actual support.
Yeah. So, Bumps and Babes, as you mentioned, has been running for over 20 years. Coming up to 24 years?
Almost 24 years.
Yeah, wow. Can you tell me what makes Bumps and Babes different from other mum and baby groups, and perhaps how the group has evolved over the years?
It is a mum and baby group, so when children get older, we don't have an upper age limit, but we don't have any toys for older children. So it's kind of self-selecting from that point of view. But we are a mother-focused group. Our aim is to support the parents to be the parents they want to be. So Diane and I are both qualified postnatal practitioners. We have a different topic every week. Diane is a sleep consultant. I am a doula and birth trauma consultant. So we have a lot of experience in supporting parents. Our topics can include things like, what I've mentioned, but feeding, going back to work, changes in relationships, people's kind of perception of life as a parent. Is that what you expected? A whole range of postnatal topics, and we ask the parents to suggest topics they want to discuss as well, and we facilitate those discussions. So it's very much user influenced as well.
I imagine for new parents, there's a lot of kind of firsts happening.
Yeah.
So it must be incredibly reassuring for new parents to have someone else say to them, this is normal, this is okay, don't worry about this.
Actually, our topic last week was baby development and the wide range of normal. And because people, you see your neighbour's baby crawling before yours, is that okay? But when you look at the wide range of normal, your baby is doing something else that your neighbour's baby isn't. So it's about stepping back and looking at the whole picture.
We all have our skills, don't we?
Yeah.
Some of us walk early, some of us don't.
Absolutely.
Have there been any particularly memorable moments or stories from the group that stand out to you?
There's a few in particular that spring to mind. People who you meet afterwards when their children are 3, 5. I was somewhere and I met this woman who, said, "Oh, hello, I recognise you. You helped me when Charlie was a baby. Charlie, come here." And Charlie's a strapping lad of about 13. Nice. But another memorable story, kind of way back in kind of more 10 or so years ago, we had this mum who came along every week, and she always seemed to be, really kind of calm, everything. She was one of the real regulars, backbone of the group. She was going back to work and she came along and she brought us some flowers and really a present and thank you cards and everything. And she said to me, "You've been a lifeline for me." She said, "If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have got out of the house some weeks." She said she had really bad postnatal depression at the beginning, and she found us and it was her one fixed point in the week. And when I was actually really taken aback, because I thought she seemed so confident and whatever, but she said, "I had to get myself up, put my face on and go, because I knew that was I would get a warm cup of tea and I could be whoever I wanted, however I wanted to be."
Difference a cup of tea makes, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be made for you.
Yeah. So when we see people, you never know what their story is.
Yeah.
So I kind of think of that when I'm offering somebody a cup of tea.
And as hard as it is to be constantly applying for funding and this and that, things like that must just keep you going.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Lovely. Let's talk about the Breastfeeding Café in of itself.
Yeah.
What was the motivation behind starting that up on the side of bumps and babes?
Okay, because I am a breastfeeding counsellor as well, as a postnatal practitioner with the NCT. We had been running, through breastfeeding counsellors in the area, had been running drop-ins in the children's centres since about 2010, funded by the children's centres. But in 2019, all the children's centres shut down.
Wow.
And then we had COVID, and the need for all types of postnatal support, particularly breastfeeding support, there just wasn't the support out there. So we worked as volunteers for a while, but that's completely unsustainable. So the three of us set up a little community interest group called the Breastfeeding Café. We get funding from grants and donations. So we run the 3 drop-ins as free to the user. We've got a WhatsApp group with, I think it's about 220 parents. Wow. So we support that, the parents support each other. We run Zoom calls, home visits. We do need to charge for some of that, obviously, because we need money to live on. So we try to keep our charges low to make it affordable to the parents.
It's interesting you've moved into the digital age with the WhatsApp groups.
But it's great.
It's a form of drop-in in itself, I suppose.
Because over COVID we did Zoom drop-ins.
It must have been a massive shock to parents who are used to dropping in and getting that support to not have it. So that must have been really reassuring to know you were still there and available.
And for parents who gave birth during that lockdown, especially at the beginning, it was just so awful. You know, not being able to see family, not being able to take your baby out. And that's when the bumps and babes actually changed. We took bumps and babes on Zoom as well. But then it was like, come along and chat. It wasn't quite the same as sitting in a hall. So that's when we started introducing topics, discussion topics, and kind of the bumps and babes as we are today has grown from that.
So for many new parents, feeding can be a challenging journey.
Absolutely.
What's the most common concern or questions parents come to you with?
Feeding's not working. It's sore, it's uncomfortable, baby has lost weight. Given the baby some formula because the baby's lost weight, and now that's not where I wanted to be, and those first couple of weeks are complete chaos, and people don't really know what they're doing, and then they kind of think, oh, this isn't really what I had hoped. So really anything from my baby doesn't latch to it's hurting, to how do I move on, to how do I stop feeding? My baby's now 2 and still breastfeeding, how do I stop? How do I move on to start babies on solid foods? Anything at all feeding related, and not only breastfeeding. We do support parents however they are feeding their baby, so we do get quite a few questions on bottle feeding and that the other side of feeding as well.
Yeah, it's not for everyone, is it?
No.
Yeah. You've been helping families for so many years, and I don't know if I said congratulations, by the way, 24 years is quite an amazing milestone. What do you think makes community-led support like yours so important in the Shepperton community? If
you think about how we as humans evolved from the village where people supported each other, we've lost that village. And I think it's important for everybody, particularly new mums. You know, a lot of new parents nowadays, they're used to having a life where they go to work, they come home, they don't necessarily know people where they live. So coming along to something like this, you meet the mum who lives around the corner. And a lot of our bumps and babes mums carry on meeting. They meet outside of the group. They carry on their friendships after they've left the group. And it's a way of getting to know the mum who lives down the road.
Have you seen any changes over the years in the kind of support that new parents need, or is that the same?
It's the same, and it's also different. There is, Google, social media. Google is not your friend when you're a parent.
Dr. Google, it's called,
Dr.
isn't it?
Google is not, because I think there's a lot more pressure on parents now. When I had mine, a lot of people didn't go back to work. Now there's a real pressure to go back to work. There's a lot more stuff out there, buy this, buy that. But all that stuff isn't going to fix it. So for us, it's about, going back to basics and looking at what that parent wants and how they want to parent, without kind of comparing themselves with Mrs. Instagram mum.
Yeah. So kind of deciding on their own personal goals
Yeah.
and working towards those rather than...
Because, we're all different. We all want to do things differently, and that's fine.
And as we touched on at the start, every child is different as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
So the kind of journey is going to be different.
It is a journey, and it is different, and it's about accepting that your journey is not the same as everybody else's, and that's fine.
So looking ahead, do you have any plans or hopes for the future of these groups?
Just to carry on.
Just to carry on. I mean, it's coming to something, isn't it, when that's your hope, is that they carry on, when it should be just a standard thing, shouldn't it?
Well, to carry on getting funding. It would be lovely if we didn't have to worry about grants all the time, if, with the council or whoever kind of recognised us as a kind of statutory service. But just, it really is to carry on supporting mums locally. And, have our group known as a place to go for local mums and for information and support. It's not just somewhere where your kids come and play with the toys, it's somewhere where the parents get support from us and from other parents.
So speaking of that, for any parents listening who might want to join or find out more, where's the best place for them to connect with you?
Just pop along to Shepperton Village Hall Thursdays from 1:15 or Sunbury Open Door Church on Tuesdays from 10. We've got a Facebook page, Sunbury Shepperton Church CNCT. We're on Instagram. We're not great at the social media, but we are there.
Yeah. Well, you contacted me via the Facebook, the Facebook group. So yes, I'm sure people can message you on there as well.
And we do try to keep our posters up on the high street.
Right.
So keep an eye out for our posters.
Thank you so much, Mary, and a huge thank you for the work you're doing to support families in our community. And to our listeners, if you know someone who might benefit from these groups, be sure to spread the word.
Thank you.
And thanks for the lovely welcome and the cuppa.
You're very welcome.
All right.
Thank you.
What's going on in Shepperton?
Sponsored by Shepperton Matters. Okay, eyes down for a full house. All the links to the following things are in the podcast show notes and in the free Sheppertonian email newsletter. So head to the sheppertonian.uk to sign up to that. All completely free. You're welcome. So here we go. The Games Room, board game night at the Red Lion, Shepperton. Shepperton Games Library is now the Games Room. So come along to their next event at the Red Lion on Wednesday the 5th of March. This is an interesting one. Sunbury Skiff and Punting Club is registered now on Easy Fundraising, which means you can raise free funds for them as you shop online this year at no extra cost. Isn't that cool? All the big names like John Lewis and Partners, Argos, eBay and more are ready to donate. Now, are you thinking of entering the Spelthorne Business Awards 2025? I'm sure this is on your radar, but here's a quick reminder. Here's what you need to know. Week commencing the 10th of March, applications go live. Week commencing the 30th of June, applications close. Week commencing 15th of July, the finalists are announced. And on week commencing the 3rd of October, it's awards night. So get in there if you are running a business in the local area. The Red Lion Rendezvous, that's on March the 18th. Arrival 6:30 for a 7 p.m. start. That's at the Red Lion, Russell Road, Shepperton. And that's an over 40s singles and mingles evening. Find a hug in the snug. That's nice. This is a friendly, fun, informal dating event to meet new friends and make new connections. Maybe your next partner. Ooh. The Mum Club, Spelthorne and Runnymede, are meeting on Wednesday the 19th of March, 10:30am to 12:30pm, and that's also in the Red Lion in Shepperton. Next up, the Stewart Academy. You will have heard from Kelly earlier in the episode. The Stewart Academy are holding a singing event in aid of the NSPCC. This is amazing. So they're gathering the community under one roof to sing together, to have fun and raise money for the NSPCC. That's on Friday, March the 28th. It's running from 6:15 until 7:45 at the Salvation Army in Ashford. And that's simply a donation via the link in the show notes, going to Eventbrite, or it's in the newsletter as well. And finally, the Mayor of Spelthorne presents an afternoon tea party to support his charities. Ooh, that sounds great. That is on Friday the 21st of March from 2:30pm until 5pm. That's at Squires Garden Centre, Halliford Road, Upper Halliford, and the price is £29.95, including Prosecco. You can join in for an elegant afternoon tea to support the Mayor's charities. And that's what's on. So, are there any Sheppertonian shout-outs for this episode? I think so.
Hear this! The Sheppertonian Shout-Out!
So it's a massive collection of shout-outs this month. I did wonder about splitting them up with some going in the April episode. I've done that with the last few. But you know what? I asked for shout-outs and you answered. So here we go. Gemma says, Get Beautiful Shepperton, definitely need to mention. The ladies there are always lovely and accommodating. Costa Shepperton are also always welcoming. Last but not least, Anna Vassallo and her team for running her fantastic Rainbows and Brownies unit, Second Shepperton. They give up so much of their time to provide these young girls with such incredible opportunities. They really go above and beyond, and we all appreciate everything that you do. Brown Bag Crisps. I mean, this is even better, isn't it? Businesses shouting out other businesses. Brown Bag Crisps say, Get Beautiful. Not only do they do the best treatments, but they're the kindest team and are huge supporters of local businesses, events, and they really champion Shepperton people. Can't recommend Laura and her team enough. Lauren says, the team at Get Beautiful Shepperton are simply incredible, professional, talented, and so welcoming. Whether it's a facial, nails, or a complete pampering session, they are the best. Jane, Get Beautiful Shepperton, getting a few mentions here. Jane says, Get Beautiful Shepperton are just amazing. Due to a recent health issue, I've been unable to see Laura John Baptiste and her lovely team, but she is regularly taking the time to check in on me. Isn't that amazing? Angela says, I second Get Beautiful. Angela, I think we're way beyond second there. It's a lovely professional team. I love a little pamper with them. Nicola says, the girls in Costa and Shepperton are always so friendly and lovely. Always great service in there. Ditto Thirlston Cafe, who do the best breakfast. Pam says, the newish Italian deli is great. Lots of scrumptious delights from fresh to frozen, good prices and very friendly people. We'll definitely be visiting again soon. Matthew says, Shepperton Medical Centre has been amazing with the overseeing of Mum's blood pressure issues. Very helpful, organised and available. Thanks, guys. Caroline says, staff and food at the School of Spice. Went there with our special needs niece and they were so patient, helpful with her, and nothing was too much trouble. She loved it there. Claire says, the bakery near Littleton Green. We're going right around Shepperton, aren't we? The bakery near Littleton Green. They are so friendly and always inquire how we are. Such a lovely family and you always get served with a smile. Jessica says, the best bakery. I presume she means the same bakery. A little lad in front of me was £3 short of his bill last month and the guy let him off and was so lovely with him. Lovely family business. Amanda says, 100% agree. Village Bakery on the Leyland Road. It's run by the loveliest family. He takes time to chat with everyone and ask how the family is, etc. And also Cafe Mocha D. It's an absolutely wonderful place, always buzzing, and the team in there are so genuine and caring. Dave says, wouldn't get through the day without a Cafe Mocha D. That's nice, Dave. Jackie, totally agree with your comments about Cafe Mocha D. Sasha and his team are amazing. Such an asset to our high street. Mick says I told you it was long, didn't I? Mick says the Storia restaurant in the High Street. Very good waitress who looked after our large party. And the Golden Fish Bar. We're lucky with the eateries we have in Shepperton. Ain't that the truth, Mick? That's brilliant. Monica says, new fish shop. Excellent haddock. Had a whale of a time. Monica. Monica also mentions Tulip Treasures, located near Shepperton Lock. I recently ordered some flowers for my friend and they sent a beautiful bouquet. Would recommend. Samantha says Surrey Car Maintenance Limited are always helpful, efficient and don't charge the earth. Shepperton Preschool is a fabulous place. My kids are about to start secondary and still talk about the team there. Laura John Baptiste, of Get Beautiful fame, just wanted to shout out to Shepperton Preschool as they're always just incredible and the most amazing nurturing place for so many of the young children in the area. The Pink Ladies are the best. Viv says, couldn't agree with Laura's comment more. The SPS team are amazing. Such a wonderful, nurturing place for all the children and their parents and so community-minded. Laurie says, the Dental Academy, they are/have been incredibly kind and patient with my elderly mother. Martin says the bar staff at the world-famous Barley Mow. They've stepped up recently when the popular publicans have not been so well lately. I'm really sorry to hear that. I hope you get well soon. Margie says the post office in Shepperton, they had some negative social media attention in the past. Can't imagine how. But on my last 4 or 5 visits in the last few months, I've had patient, helpful service with a smile. Me too, Margie. Bianca says, totally tangerine cookery. We went to the adult and child cookery class the other week and it was brilliant. Would highly recommend. Sophie says, new bowls have been fantastic. And Samantha agrees. We used New Bowls & Co. when we sold our property. 100% recommend the team there. Great advice, efficient and fast. Whew, wow, I'm going to need to go down to Cafe Mocadee now for a coffee after that. Thanks everyone for contributing to that. And thank you for joining me on this episode of The Sheppertonian. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter if you want links to anything you've heard in this show. And until next time, I'll see you around. Shepperton Matters is your monthly community magazine, hand-delivered, available for pickup, and also online at villagematters.co.uk. You'll find it full of stories, history, information, and local traders and advertisers. 9,000 copies are distributed every month. Call Monica Jones on 07979 808 991 for more information.